Welcome back to Adore Cream. I'm going to do a different type of video for you all today. We've been talking a lot about Prince, and this is a Prince channel, but today I'm going to do another brief sort of about me video. Now, we've talked about autism, we've talked about how I got into Prince and my background and everything, but today we're going to talk about other type of music I listen to, because I think every Prince fan, you know, they definitely listen to a lot of other people and a lot of other stuff besides Prince, basically. And also too, when you listen to Prince, when you're a big fan of him, basically, I mean, you're very much influenced. There are other artists that kind of led you to Prince in a way, and I think today I'm just going to go through some of the artists that I also really listen a lot to. I mean, some of the artists that I really like. I mean, in no real order, but the first few people I'm going to show you, these are people who I'm really absolutely crazy about when it comes to music and stuff. And I think that, especially with me, I mean, most people say, oh, you know, you're very much, you know, influenced by the music your parents listen to. Well, first of all, I'd say no, not really, because my mother listened to a lot of country and western, and my dad listened to a lot of sort of roots reggae and stuff, and those two types of music I'm not really into. But I will listen to some country and western, and I will listen to, like, you know, commercial pop reggae. Otherwise, you Americans wouldn't know so much, but you British might know, especially if you're a black British person. Lovers rock, that type of reggae, you know, the positive stuff, not all the stuff about war in the Babylon, I'm going to kill you because you're gay, and we hang the Benji man from the tree, and we hate white people, all that. I don't like that shit. Okay, so let's get right into it. Now, the first artist I really got into and was absolutely crazy about from a very young kid was Michael Jackson. And as you know, I mean, when you're a Prince fan, you cannot really, you know, go too far away from Prince when you get into Michael Jackson. I mean, I've always liked Michael's music. I mean, even there, I still like it. I mean, I know the guy was a bit strange, but I don't think he was a pedophile. His music's always meant a lot to me. I mean, it's funky, it's danceable, and I think another reason why a lot of people loved Michael was because Michael was so pure. He had this really wholesome image. I mean, probably the only thing that Michael does better than Prince is the fact that he's not talking about sincerely fucking the taste out of people's mouths or singing songs about cum or anything else. Michael's always kept it quite clean, and also, come on, the guy was the greatest dancer ever lived. I mean, you've seen him dance, you've seen him perform on stage, he's amazing. Okay, so that's Michael. Okay, I'm just going to pick up a whole lot of stuff and dump it on the floor. Also, too, I mean, my fandom goes back a very, very long way. You know, I mean, this book I got when I was about 8 years old. This is from the Thriller era. How about that? And even then, I remember it cost a lot of money. I was like, oh, Tony, you're going to waste all your pocket money on this rubbish. And I don't think it's rubbish, really. This came out around 84, around just before the Victory Tour began. So that's a really old thing I've got. Now, probably after Michael Jackson, my third favourite artist, and what you're going to find is I have a real mixture of influences here. I've got, like, the sort of white artists, and I've got the black artists. So now we're going to go from black to white. This is another artist that's always ticked all my buttons. I got into Bowie really late, actually, like around about 1996, 97. And I mean, I've always liked Bowie because he's a musical chameleon. Like Prince, he's a consummate musician. I mean, all this music is just so great. It sounds avant-garde. It's really catchy. It's also very rocked up. And Bowie was a really strange guy. I mean, I don't even think Bowie was a human half the time. I think he was like a space alien that came here to teach us about stuff. And I mean, easily one of my favourites of all time, basically. And of course, okay, another one I absolutely love. Now, this is definitely the gay side of me coming out. Is this bitch. Okay. Madonna. I've always been a massive fan of Madonna. I mean, ever since I like Michael Jackson, my interest in Madonna probably goes right back to when I was 7 or 8 years old, pretty much when Like a Virgin came out. You know, so we got Mrs. Madonna, Veronica Louise Saccone. I mean, I really got into her heavily around the Like a Prayer era, you know, when she became basically a big-time slut. And even now, my two favourite songs by Madonna are basically Vogue and Justify My Love. I'm not so crazy about her latest stuff, but I still will buy all her latest CDs and some of the forgettable shit like this, you know. So there you go. I mean, that's a complete Madonna slut when you got a copy of Rebel Heart and MDNA, and of course the I'm Breathless soundtrack, which is quite funny. So that's Madonna. It's another one who I'm really into. Probably after Madonna, another artist that really ticks all my buttons for me is George Michael. George Michael and Wham, basically. Again, here's another one I got into quite early. I remember the Wham songs when I was 7 or 8 years old. We're talking like mid-80s here. And I remember Faith. I remember Listen Without Prejudice, all these albums. And this latest stuff when he came out as gay, basically. Yeah, I got a lot of these magazines for some reason. But they're pretty good, you know, rather than me having to fork out money on libraries of books about pop stars. Although I do have the George Michael one that was rushed out after his death. He's always meant a lot to me, probably because of the whole gay thing as well, and the fact that his mother also died of cancer. And, you know, he was a very underspoken person, like he'd donate all this money to charities and things, and he wouldn't want to make a big deal out of it. He just liked to do things in the background. So he had this real humility about him, and that's what I really admired about him. Okay, so that's George Michael. Now another one right up there definitely of course is Queen, you know, especially Freddie Mercury. I mean, I've always loved Queen's music. I mean, it's always got this sort of really rocky, anthemic feel to it, which I really love. In fact, also too, like Michael Jackson, I mean, Freddie Mercury is probably one of the greatest showmen of all time, pretty much. I mean, the guy was just absolutely amazing as far as I'm concerned. And again, the gay sensibilities always make me laugh, you know. I mean, Bohemian Rhapsody, the movie last year was awesome. I recommend seeing it, you know. And while we're talking about flamboyant performers, we've got to talk about another one, whose movie I'm hoping to see very soon, Elton John. He's another artist I've been into since I was a little kid, basically. And again, I actually really do like the music, but the personality of him is also hilarious. I mean, I used to always laugh at his funny outfits, you know, like he'd dress up as a cat on stage and, you know, this campness, all this type of weirdness and stuff, basically. But also because his music really did cross over into the heartland in a lot of ways, and I think, again, he was also one of these white artists that could really bring together black and white music, because Elton loved black music, you know, Benny and the Jets, that type of stuff. Some of his songs from the 70s are very iconic. Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, I actually have an old record copy of it. It's probably one of the best albums ever made, full stop, basically. I mean, songs like Candle in the Wind, you know, Jamaica Jerk Off, Funeral for a Friend, Love Lies Bleeding, that's just an incredible song. You know, it's just, and of course Gracefield, I mean, it's just amazing. I mean, he's just got so much good music, even if he is a complete queen. You know, so he's another one of ways. And of course, you know, when you're into Prince, I mean, of course, you know, David Bowie, Michael Jackson, Elton John and Madonna are going to follow pretty much behind them. Now we're going to jump the other side of the fence over into the black world, and one group, another one I've always really been into, of course, is Stevie Wonder, and yes, this is the last of these overpriced magazines I'm going to show you. Again, I mean, in the 70s, I mean, he was one of the few black artists whose music was everywhere. I mean, he really crossed over into the mainstream. It's easy to see why, because he just has so much talent. I mean, his songs, I've always, being quite left-wing, I've always loved the left-wing sentiment of a lot of his songs, like, you know, Master Blaster, Jamming, and of course, Boogie On, Reggae Woman, you know, Happy Birthday, all that type of stuff. I mean, that song pretty much actually led to Martin Luther King's birthday being recognised as a national holiday. I mean, so I mean, not only is he a wonderful performer, he's also a social activist in a lot of ways. And I mean, I love the way how you movie lampooned him, going, when Stevie Wonder gets a Grammy, he has that long ass acceptance speech, he's like, yes, I would like to thank the children of the world. And I'm like, okay, man, just take the fucking Grammy. And like, you know, 10 minutes later, because the brother can't see, he's still there talking, and like the whole hall's empty. You know, I thought that was funny. Yeah. Oh, Stevie Wonder's a genius, man. You know, take the car, drive. Yeah, real funny, motherfucker. I mean, that's from Eddie Murphy's Delirious movie. I mean, that movie just has me in tears of laughter. Even though it's dated, it cracks me up. Even the stuff about gays and Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson came up to me and said, I heard you've been saying some things about me. And I'm like, so? He said, you say one more thing about me, I'm going to moonwalk up and down your ass, motherfucker. And I hear any more shit, I'm going to put this glove up your ass. And he was like, Michael Jackson's looking for you. And I'm like, so? I mean, Michael weighs like $105. You know? Yeah. So anyway, that's the main stuff I'm really into. Now I'm going to move into acts that I'm still into, but I'm not quite as a fan of them. First of all, of course, if anything to do with soul, you know, I mean, this is an Atlantic Records set from the 60s. I mean, it's got 60s music on it. So any black soul music, you know, Otis Redding, Aretha Franklin, Benny King, Percy Sledge, this type of stuff. I listen to a lot of this type of stuff. And again, of course, you know, lovers rock, basically. I mean, Eddie Lovett, you know, most people wouldn't have heard of him outside of the Maori and Pacific community, probably. I mean, he's a black American who basically did soft reggae-fied versions of songs. You know, that's the other stuff I kind of listen to. And now I'm just going to show some CDs of other acts that I kind of like. I mean, I like them, but I've never really got into them like I have with Prince, Michael, or Madonna. Of course, the Supremes, this is a wonderful album, basically. I mean, now most of these are second-hand CDs or CDs, but in the past I would have had tapes and dubbed copies of all this stuff, basically, that got thrown out in '98. This is pretty much covers their whole era from 1961 right through to the mid-70s. Another act that's always got a rise out of me, Boney M. Again, you Americans have probably never heard of these people, but they're very camp disco music. I mean, I just found their look just so funny. They had songs like Rasputin and Brown Girl in the Ring. Also, too, my mum was heavily into disco in the 70s. And I just found some of these album covers here. I mean, look at that one for Take the Heat Off Me. It's like some weird bondage scene along with Love for Sale. And their music was just so tacky. It was good. I mean, this album, I mean, I play it a lot. I just love it, basically. So, if you're British, you probably have heard of Boney M. And especially if you're from Germany, France, or Russia, you would have heard of them. But if you're American, you're probably wondering, who the hell are Boney M, basically? They were a group of Caribbeans who basically went over to Germany and Frank Farian turned them into big stars. And then, of course, a few years later, he did that sort of less successfully with Milli Vanilli, another group I was into. Dolly Parton, of course, she's one of the few country acts I'll listen to, and I actually do like him. It's not because she's got big tits and she supports gay rights, but Her music is very good, you know, songs like Here You Come Again and Why'd You Come In Here Looking Like That and everything else. I mean, she's really, you know, I'm gonna get my boobs made bigger. 80s synth rock, you know, so I mean, all the Thompson Twins, I mean, this was great. This is a 5-album set. The same makers of the ones that were going to put out the 5 Prince album set that got pulled. Okay, this is really good. I love this set here. Okay, they had a lot of synth happy songs. Again, any sort of 80s compilation that's actually got original songs, not like re-recordings. I mean, all this type of stuff basically, and it's always cheap as chips basically, you know, $9.99. And it's got songs on it like, you know, Whitney Houston, I Want to Dance with Somebody, I've Had the Time of My Life, Girls Just Want to Have Fun, Club Tropicana, Footloose, We Built the City, When Will I Be Famous. So you get the kind of stuff that's on it, really catchy pop music. You know, there's some Luther Vandross here, there's some Marvin Gaye. It's quite funny because this one's got like one CD of pop crap, and the other side, you see CD2, it's all a lot more sort of black songs, you know. Okay, then another one, another diva I love is Whitney Houston, of course. You know, I mean, she was just tragic, but she had the most amazing voice, you know. And of course, Lenny Kravitz, you know, again, another sort of Prince satellite in some ways, you know. He was going to work with Prince once, thank God he didn't, because he became much more successful without him. Okay, so now I'm going to reach some more music, basically, you know, while I'm talking. In addition to what I've mentioned, of course, Janet Jackson. I mean, this is one of the greatest albums made, actually. It's probably the best album of '89, better than Prince's Bat Dance, sorry. Again, if it's from the 70s or 80s or got a beat in it, I will listen to it pretty much. See, like, even you get these cheap sets, I mean, these have got good songs on them. This has got a lot of, you know, sort of deeper cut stuff, you know, like songs by Bill Withers and Gregory Abbott. Terence Trent D'Arby, now, God, that's another one I just cannot get enough of. I think his first album was just absolutely amazing. I mean, again, the comparisons to Prince and Michael Jackson came flooding through, but I like some of his older music, but like someone said on the Prince song, I mean, the problem with Terence Trent D'Arby was he did disappear up his own ass, kind of in a way. So that's that one. Okay, I'm just pulling through my CD collection here, which is behind the computer, but what else have I got here? Yeah. More Wham, more George Michael. Yep, not a surprise. Yep, the reason why these CDs hardly get listened to is because I put them straight onto the computer pretty much. Oh, what's that? That's a Prince bootleg. Yep, another one I love, Marvin Gaye, another great singer. Yep, Sting and the Police. You know, I actually do like a lot of their music. Locally made Rhythm and Black collection, which has got a lot of funk songs, I like stuff by the Ohio Players. Strawberry Letter 23, remember that song? You know, Busting Out on the Funk by Rick James. A lot of Parliament, that's another group I really like. And it's even got Controversy by Prince on it, as you can see. And of course, more Queen. Okay, what else have we got in here? Okay, of course, yep, we've got my favourite Maori entertainer, Prince Tuiteka. He did a lot of covers and show band type music. REM, of course, pretty much. CDs are as cheap as chips here, yep. And what else have I got in here? Let me have a look before everything collapses in on me. Yep. More George Michael, what a surprise. And this is the took a year and a half ago. This is the extended version of Listen Without Prejudice, as George Michael joked about it, Listen Without Purchasing, basically. What's that? Yes, another Prince bootleg, what a surprise. You know, Mariah Carey, Michael Jackson Escape with DVD, okay. So that's the type of music I listen to. You get the feeling I'm a pretty well-rounded guy. In addition, any disco like ABBA, for example. I really love ABBA, I know that's tacky. I actually like some more tackier 70s type yacht rock music like Leo Sayer. You know that song, You Make Me Feel Like Dancing, where he sounds like the Muppets. I mean, that perm just cracks me up. Anything with a permanent I find quite funny. I mean, some of the things I love watching, Kath and Kim's always been a big favourite, just the Australian one, not the crappy American rip-off. I mean, look at me, please, don't look at me. Anything by Seth MacFarlane, I know people think it's tacky, I love it. I've pretty much got every Family Guy DVD, including all the, only the official ones though, see what I mean? I mean, I'm actually one of the few people still buying these things. You know, it just cracks me up, that show. I just love silly humour, basically. Yep. Of course, I mean, I love Star Wars, so I mean, the Star Wars rip-off I really, really loved. I thought it was hilarious. You know, it's impossible, because they're rerunning all the Star Wars movies at the moment. It's impossible for me not just to think of the Family Guy references in all of them. Of course, I have collections of music videos. This Madonna one, I really recommend that because it's got some of the rarer ones like Burning Up and Lucky Star on it. And yeah, so that's the type of music I listen to. Now I just quickly want to mention some of the music I can't stand. We talked about all this wonderful stuff that I love, but I just want to talk about, this is all the music I've shown you in this video basically, it's just some of it. Plus there's several those magazines on the floor, here's some more of it. So we discussed a lot of artists and covered a lot of terrain here basically. But music I can't stand. There's only two types of music I really can't stand. One is heavy metal. Basically any type of metal that involves loud guitars, people shrieking, antisocial lyrics. So you mean like examples, AC/DC. Okay, there is some Guns N' Roses stuff I don't mind so much, but generally stuff like Megadeth, Slayer, Motley Crue, any of those horrible type acts, and especially satanic death metal. Any stupid metal, you know, anything like Deicide, Cryptopsy, Cannibal Corpse. These people sing about dark things, they're going to hell, basically, as far as I'm concerned. Now, that's stupid. I mean, this music serves no purpose, you know, so that's the white music I bash. Now there's a black form of music I want to bash, and I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, you're a racist, you hate black people, blah, blah, blah. But I think, honestly, to term black people with this type of music is racist against black people, because I think of the black contribution to music, you know what I mean, jazz, pop, soul, rhythm, blues, you know, people like Prince, you know, is rap, okay? 80s rap, you know, positive rap, you know, stuff like Run DMC and De La Soul. I've got no problems with that music. I actually kind of liked it. It's funky, it's positive, and rhythmic. The music I can't stand is gangster rap, trap rap, modern commercial rap, mumble rap, all these stupid rap dance songs on the charts. It's just complete brainless garbage. It's not music. Basically, all they have is some guy playing a looped-in drum machine beat, or they've stolen a sample, usually from a song I've talked about in this stack of CDs, 70s, 80s, or 90s, and it's just some guy grunting or swearing to a drum machine beat, usually along the lines of, yo, fuck that nigga, kill that bitch, yo, 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 take some drugs, wear some Gucci, sip some champagne, bitch, look at my car, push button start, look how much money I got, nigga. That type of music is just dumb and brainless. And then you got these rap dance songs like Teach Me How to Dougie and Juju on that beat and that Silento song. They're just complete garbage. And the youngsters run around, they love this music. They think it's great, they think it's like the greatest music ever made. And it's just not, it's just junk. And then you've got all these songs that promote drug abuse, like the stuff like Little Sewage Pump and some guy called 659 or something. He's got like these multicolored teeth and shitlocks on his head. That's what I call dreadlocks. I call them shitlocks because that's what they are. Basically, I mean, this music is destructive, it's crap, you need no talent to do it, anyone can just grunt along to a drum machine beat. The record companies love it because it basically pushes up negative stereotypes of black people. It's very cheap to make, it's very easy just to use rappers. You just give them a couple of $100,000 and give them some bling bling clothes and jewelry. They go into the studio and make a few songs, and most rap acts, apart from the really big fishes like Jay-Z, you know, and Kanye West, generally don't last more than a couple of albums. I mean, stuff like Chamillionaire, can anyone remember that? Or the Dougie song, or rappers like Ja Rule. I mean, it's just rubbish. And then you got the worst rappers like Migos and Plies and Lil Wayne. Oh my god, that guy's done more to discredit music. And then you got like the hoe rappers, you know, people like Nicki Minaj and Lil Kim, and Cardi B. Oh my god, and these people, and they use nonsense syllables like, you know, what the hell is a Bodak Yellow and a Kodak Black and all this other shit, you know? This music is just complete and utter shit. And I can't wait until it finally goes out of fashion or they fucking ban the shit. Rap went downhill with shit like Snoop Dogg and Notorious Big and all these other Tupac. You know, I called him Two Lips, just a cretin. He was just a guy who groaned along, go, yeah, I'm a fuck, I kill motherfuckers, yeah. You know, I mean, I just can't wait until that shit gets banned. So there you are, there's some of the music I like and don't like. And probably other music I don't hate it like I hate rap, but I don't really have much time for it as all this modern skank pop. I mean, stuff like Katy Perry and DJ Khaled and Billie Eilish, all these modern acts, you know, all these acts that mainly feature scantily clad girls singing very vacuous pop songs. Going, oh yes, oh, I love to drink, I love to party, I love to have sex, let's stay at home and have sex and drink all the time and let's do party drugs. Another thing I can't stand in modern music is now that all of a sudden drugs are cool and you've got all these songs that are promoting basically getting stoned and getting drunk and popping pills and stuff. This needs to stop, you know, yeah, so that's the positive and that's the negative of the Adore Cream musical experience. May you all live to see the dawn.